So we're sitting at like 20 to 30K a month. Like we've had some great months before then, but as of recently, it just wasn't going well. And I came across a reel of you. Like, this is the guy that originated it, right? Like this is the guy that did it first.
How did you figure out how it originated it?
Because you do it the best. Who does it the best besides the first person to do it? You practice what you preach, right? Like everything you do teach inside, or you do fulfillment wise with the one-on-one calls, everything is stuff that you do on a daily basis. Everything that I'm learning or I'm seeing in terms of extra value, I see it being implemented now on that same side as well live. Once you learn the back end, you get to see it all on the front end. Yes.
What do you say to people that are on defensive investing?
Oh, you have to. Actually, month to date, I'm at 46 right now, if you want to share.
When did you sign up?
4 weeks ago now.
4 weeks ago.
4 weeks ago.
You pissed into DMs?
Piffed in DMs once, yes.
I remember that.
Yes.
What happened?
Honestly, man.
Like, tell me I'm curious. Tell me
Just
the thought process first.
Yeah,
what was
behind
the
it.
thought process before? Like, why? How?
So this was a thought process. I'll tell you exactly, because I was having this discussion literally with my ops manager at the time. So we're sitting at like 20 to 30K a month. Like we've had some great months before then, but as of recently, it just wasn't going well. We didn't change nothing, so we wasn't sure what was happening, right? I guess the market was just becoming more complicated and more people were doing it, and now it was getting spread thin. So we're sitting there, and I'm like, bro, like, I don't know how the hell we're going to do this. I've been posting every day. I've been doing this. Like, literally nothing's working. And at the same time, like, I'm not the type of person to reach out and, like, go and like, obviously I'll invest into learning something, right? But I'm not the type of person to go actively search and do, like, 15 sales calls and see which program I like the most. I don't do that. I genuinely believe I could figure it out over time if I did it myself, right? So I was just looking, and I came across, I think, a reel of yours. And I was like, oh, cool, like, this is the guy that, because everyone's been doing the Miro board from, like, this is the guy that originated it, right? Like, this is the guy that did it first.
How did you figure out how it originated it?
Because you do it the best. Who does it the best besides the first person to do it?
Correct.
So,
Fair.
so I mean, you can tell just because of the fact that, like, people have seen that before, and if they go on your page, it's full of them. You know, you can scroll for, like, a year and you'll see them, right? You go on anyone else's pages from last week. So, and the actual surface level information they put on there too is not something that they do for yours. Yours are very logical, in depth, so on and so forth. The normal ones are just, even mine are more like generalized, like they give value, but it's not super detailed. So I think to take that extra step shows that you're kind of owning it, right, more than the next person. But yeah, I came across one. I was like, this is cool. I went on the YouTube. My first thought was like, damn, bro, like, who is this guy? Like, he looks like he's my age, and he's over here making $500,000. Like, what the hell is going on? So I go on it. I watched like 10 minutes of the YouTube. I would say just a genuine skill for mine is I'm really good at reading people. Like, I know if someone's genuine, right? I think you kind of learn that over time. So, I mean, right off the bat, I saw and I was like, okay, like, this guy's legit. He knows what he's talking about. I sent you a DM, I believe, that same day. And then you texted me back. You were like, yo, bro, I'm actually hitting 100K this week. I called my ops manager. I'm like, should we just say fuck it? I was like, what are we going to lose realistically, right? We're already kind of stuck at this mark. There's nothing to really gain if we don't do this. So might as well do it. The most we'll lose is 14K and then make it right back after anyway the next month, even if it wasn't from you. So I was like, okay, do it. Done.
Legendary, bro. And then what happened when you got on board?
So first thing we did was work on the profile, right? Because I had, like, it was kind of sloppy a little bit. I like, the one big taker I had from you was kind of dispersing the clients into different storylines. So I have a bunch of highlights now of my clients, like, storyline it, and I really like that, because before it was just clients and it was really messy, and it would be like a different person every page, a different thing every page. It didn't have a sequence to it. So after we kind of optimized that profile, now it looks super clean. I like the fact you go on it and you know exactly what I do. Everything's kind of there, all the information's there, and it works, man. I mean, you can see the views on the pin page. I see them going up every single day. So, like, even without me running ads, without me even posting, I haven't posted for a week now. It's been because we've been here traveling, and I see it going up in views 1,000 every day. So, I mean, it works, right? So that was kind of the first thing. I think that made the biggest change for me immediately right off the bat. Just the fact that I was kind of able to portray myself as a more mature, more knowledgeable. Like, the knowledge and value didn't change. It was just I got people to get the eyes on me and give me the baseline respect to begin to listen to the value that I had.
That is the only problem I want to solve for people. right?
Yeah.
Exactly what you just described. I want people to understand how to communicate value. So an audience, you start to attract an audience with traffic, more people, more eyeballs that listen to the actual value that you have to provide.
Yeah.
That's the whole point. The point is not that people don't have value. The point is that people don't understand how to communicate their value and how they get people to listen to them. Because when you get people to listen to you and you solve a problem, you add value to solving a problem, people pay to solve that problem.
Yeah. That was what I would say confidently is I've never had a client who's listened to me or a lead that's listened to me who genuinely hasn't, one, found value, or two, closed. I think a 90% close rate, right? So the biggest bottleneck was literally like, hey, notice me, I'm here. And then once you get that conversation, you get to speak, they hear you, they know you know what you're talking about, to instant buy. I think that applies for anyone in the market, right? Everyone just kind of struggles with being like, hey, look, you can't grab a person and be like, hey, I know how to fix your problem. They'll never believe you. So it's just the way to make them see you and think, hey, this guy can fix my problem.
How would you say the Nick setting front end reflects on the back end? Because you've experienced both.
You practice what you preach, right? Like everything you do teach inside, or you do fulfillment wise with the one-on-one calls, everything is stuff that you do on a daily basis. So that's kind of the first thing too, when I guess a client would hop into the program, which is something I realize is it's congruent throughout. Or like even me now, like when I'm on sales calls, I use myself as an example for what we can do to help them, because I'm like, look, I practice what I preach, right? Yes. I'm doing the exact same thing I'm telling you, and it's clear proof of concept it works because you're paying me right now. So that's kind of the same thing with you. Is like when I hopped in, I was like, okay, well, everything that I'm learning or I'm seeing in terms of extra value, I see it being implemented now on that same side as well live, because you learn about it and then you see it. You see kind of the behind the scenes, right? You peel a layer back on it. So, I mean, yeah, everything that you say in terms of the back end is stuff that you do on the front end. And once you learn the back end, you get to see it all on the front end.
How would you say, and like, how did you got to figure out the importance of understanding who is real and who isn't, and like try to go deeper on this, because it's not just like, oh, I trust this person, like,
yeah,
how to truly see somebody that is capable of delivering results and somebody that isn't.
Okay, so this is what I would say, right? Because there's a lot of this question is actually pretty common. The number one teller on if someone is genuine is how their behaviors. If you analyze behaviors, you'll know everything, right? So I'll tell you kind of about how I learned and then what I learned, right? So how I learned, I would say, I mean, obviously life experience, right? You go through, you meet people. One thing I always preach is like talk to everyone, because you always learn something from someone, whatever the lesson is. So I'd like to have a conversation like with even the locals here. Anyone has something to give me in terms of value, right? So talk to everyone. You start to notice patterns between people. So when you speak to a whole bunch of people, this guy will end up this way, and you know what this guy does, or you see it online and you know the perception of him, right? And then the other guy will be the other way. And when you notice the behaviors of this person and the behaviors of that person, and there's a person over there, you can kind of group him within the other groups of people that you already have in your head. So I meet someone nowadays and I'll be like, okay, you are just like him. And then I know exactly half of this guy's personality traits and his behaviors because their personalities match or their behaviors match. You know what I mean? You take the same actions, you're going to get the same result. So once you start to realize the patterns between the actions, you can pair them and kind of find out what the person is like. So you take the actions characteristics of a untrustable person or someone that might be just scamming people, whatever, it might be faking their thing, and you match it together, and if it aligns, it aligns. It's vice versa, right? If you're a genuine person, you have your mannerism, you have the way you speak, you have the value you provide, you know you have confidence in yourself, right? That's a big thing, is a lot of people wouldn't be confident in themselves.
It creates belief.
Yeah. A lot of people that fake it actually try to justify it more than they need to, right? Like they don't even, half the time you don't need to justify. I don't need to go out on the street and say I know what I'm doing. You don't need to go out and tell people you know what you're doing, because they see it. A guy who fakes it would feel the urge to go out and try to tell the whole world he knows it, right? Just so they know. But that's subconsciously making it to where you don't know it, because you're trying to force it down everyone.
Correct.
So I would say like that's one of the behaviors, right? So you take the behaviors of someone who's not loyal and not a trustable person, and once you start to analyze them, you can kind of find that same pattern in other people and find out how trustable they are.
Very interesting. I have a last question on this.
Yes.
What do you say to people that are on the fence of investing?
Oh, you have to. I mean, but this is what I say, right? There's two ends of the stick. On one end of the stick, you invest and you get amazing return. You get everything you wanted. You think this program is genuinely help you, and you get the result, right? On the other end of the stick, you invest and you come out with a lesson. And you come out with a lesson that'll then make you more money and get you where you need to go in the future. There's literally zero thing you get from sitting in the same spot every single day. you're just going to be stuck in the same spot that you are right now, contemplating and being like, oh, but I don't want to do it. You're still not getting to where you want to go, right? So either way you learn a lesson, either way you gain value, there's no harm in it, and you have to if you're actually going to get anywhere. The more money you lose, the more you make at the end of the day. At least that's the case with me. The more I spend, the more I'll make.